down how attachment styles impact our relationships. Please welcome the Social's co-host and relationship expert, Cynthia Loyst.
How is this your first time? I am so excited.
I'm so excited, and what a perfect topic to be talking about around Valentine's Day. I love it.
No, I am very, very thrilled to chat about this with you. We've talked about talking about relationships and how this all works, but we're going to get into kind of the nitty-gritty. What is an attachment style?
So basically, an attachment style is a pattern that we develop that influences how we connect with other people, particularly on a romantic level. They're formed often in early childhood through our caregivers, but sometimes through early romantic relationships as well. And basically, I like to think of them as a kind of window into ourselves and our partners. They give us a little clues into why some relationships feel super easy and other ones feel like emotional boot camp.
Okay. Yeah. I love this. It is a really great kind of lens to look at yourself through, because I feel like I'm someone who's kind of critical of myself. I'm like, why am I reacting in this way? You know? Yeah.
Well, I think while I'm describing these different types of attachment styles, people will see themselves and their partners in each one of them. And the good news is these aren't fixed in stone. We can always be working towards, as we gain more self-knowledge, towards secure attachment, which is where we want to get to.
Okay, fantastic. So let's start off with the 4 attachment styles. Let's start off with that secure attachment.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, the 4 of them are secure and anxious, avoidant, and disordered. And we're going to get into all those. Disorganized. Cool. So the secure attachment is the gold standard. Basically, people who are securely attached had caregivers who were consistently loving, who learned how to communicate well, and then as adults, they take that into their relationships, and they can create healthy boundaries. They're comfortable with intimacy as well as a little bit of space. And basically, they're the type of people who we all want to date and we all want to try to become.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into the ones that maybe are a little bit trickier. Let's start off with anxious attachment style. What does that look like? Okay,
so anxious attachment is the classic overthinker. These are the people. Yes, exactly.
That sounds familiar.
I know. It's totally. Everyone's like, maybe that's me. They're the people who had caregivers who were a bit inconsistent. They were maybe a lot of times loving, but sometimes they were a little maybe overwhelmed or distracted. And how that then shows up in your romantic relationships is sometimes these are the people who can spiral off and worry. They have a deep fear of being abandoned. And it presents itself in different ways.
Okay, so we've actually got a scenario of anxious attachment. So let's pull that one up. So this is when someone I'm dating doesn't text back for a few hours, I spiral. I reread my messages, assume I did something wrong, and feel the urge to send follow-ups or pick a fight. How do I stop this?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing to know is that you're not broken if you relate to this kind of pattern. It's simply actually your nervous system trying to receive sort of a calm. So my advice is if you get that urge to text or you're spiraling, is to first pause, okay? Take a walk, regulate your nervous system, go out, distract yourself with something. And then if you still feel the need to connect, I would say do so in a really calm manner. This is an opportunity in a relationship, especially an early one, to say, hey, when I don't hear back from you and I was expecting to, my mind tends to race. So can we talk about expectations? I think the move towards secure attachment is really being able to communicate openly and honestly, and not just, you know, going away and getting in your own head.
In your own head, right? 100%. Okay, that's really, really fantastic. Let's move on to the world of avoidant attachment. What does that look like?
Avoidant attachment is kind of the classic lone wolf, you can imagine. They really value their independence and their space. They came from caregivers who may have been sort of emotionally distant or really told them not to show their emotions. And P.S., a lot of men fall into this category. I think people can relate to that. And so how this shows up in romantic relationship can look a lot like coldness. It can look like distance, and it can look like the extreme need for space.
Okay, so let's take a look at a scenario showing that one. So I like being in relationships, but once someone gets emotionally close or wants more time, I feel trapped and pull away. I tell myself, they're too much. What's going on there?
This is definitely an avoidant personality. And I think the move here towards secure attachment is to recognize that if you're in a tense situation and your urge is to escape, to go off, to close a door, to be alone, that you might want to stay in the discomfort just for one beat longer. Because I think what the other person might receive about you retreating is that you don't care. And I think your move is then to say, like, it's not, you can actually verbalize this. It's not that I'm trying to create distance. I just need a minute here. You know, the secure movement is to remain attached while also having space.
Yeah.
And calling it that.
Okay, cool.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right, now let's take a look at the disorganized attachment.
Yes.
What does that look like?
Yeah, a disorganized attachment often comes from trauma or neglect as children. And so as adults, what that can look like is there's a particular sense of fear and love being mixed together from those early experiences. So they can create a lot of drama and a lot of emotional roller coasters. You might be with a person who's trying to pick a fight at times. You're like, oh, I thought we were doing well. What's going on here? And so that's that kind of disorganized attachment at work.
It's almost like it's like coming in and then all of a sudden you're like, what?
Yeah, it's hot, it's cold, it's push, it's pull, it's all of that kind of emotional roller coaster stuff.
Okay, let's take a look at a scenario showing that one off. Okay, it says, I crave intimacy, but when I get it, I suddenly feel suspicious or shut down. I push people away and then feel abandoned. Ooh, why do I do this? That is very push-pull.
I know.
Yeah.
Have people dated people like this before? Does it sound familiar?
I have friends who've dated and I'm always like, oh, this sounds bad.
Right? I know, it's hard out there right now. Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of attachment style does need work, right? And I think that for a person who has this tendency, they have to sort of learn to get comfortable with stability.
Yeah.
You ever heard that person who says like, oh, when things are just going well, that's when I don't trust anything?
Yeah.
That usually comes from disorganized attachment style. So the move there would be to actually stay in the space. It's maybe work with a therapist also to heal some of that previous trauma and trying to get comfortable with stability and trying to also, again, you can never go wrong with articulating how you're feeling in any given moment.
Yeah.
That's how we remain connected.
Yeah.
That's how we remain secure and we allow our partners to feel secure as well.
I think that's so true. No matter how well you know someone, you don't know what they're thinking.
That's
and
right.
verbalizing it is, even if you think they know, they might not know.
They might not know. And I think the great thing is that people listening right now are probably like, oh, I'm that, oh, I'm that,
Yeah.
maybe I'm that. And again, you can do Google searches and find out exactly what you are.
Yeah.
But intuitively, I think we do know. And again, none of these things are fixed. And different relationships might bring out different sides.
Yeah.
And we can always be working towards more secure attachments.
I love that, Cynthia. Thanks so much. That was so interesting. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.